What's up, YouTube? This is Eric Cabrera from Team WonderBunnies. The ban list in the OCG has finally been confirmed. The list is up on Shriek, and I have to say that it's not as surprising as all the other fake ones were prior to this. One thing that you can definitely see right off the beginning, which I have to talk about first, is how Goyo Guardian is not coming back. That is just one of the biggest trolls, and I am glad I didn't get caught up into the Goyo Guardian buying them all out from $20 under from every site. It just shows you that you can't believe everything you see, and you have to really wait until a very good confirmation is done before you start making moves like that. So to all those guys who, hopefully you guys picked up at least one, at most one, but for those guys who still have pages and pages full of Goyo Guardians, they are not coming back. So hopefully during that little rush you guys got rid of them. So anyways, right into the list. First card on the list is Sangang. It is completely banned. This hurts basically everybody who played it, along with Rescue Rabbit and Insectors and stuff like that. This card for a while now has been complained by many players that it has to go, and it definitely does. It doesn't miss timing, and with Call the Haunted being back around a 3, I've seen certain decks that can just keep using it. When you blind MST their Call the Haunted, they just generate the plus right off of Sangang and just grab their key cards. This card definitely has to go. I like this card being hit over Tour Guide from the previous list, which was Tour Guide at 1, because then it made the engine just not usable at all. There are a couple of questions that arise: what you should run in place of Sangang if you're still running the Tour Guide engine, if you should run Tour Buzz, Dark Mimic. It would have been great if we had a second Night Assailant, but obviously, for certain reasons, we can't. So, next card on the list is Wind Up Carrier Zen Mighty. He is now completely banned. Previous from last format where he was put to 1, so the hand loop cannot be done. Now you just can't use him at all. Sorry about that. So yeah, this card was a little bit surprising to me as why it should have gone to 0. But at the same time, I can see why. This card has the functionality of grabbing any of the windups in your deck to make any of the plays. You can grab Magician if you had a Shark in hand. You can grab a Rat. You can grab a Rabbit to generate more field presence that could just stay there. If it was limited to what it could grab, like a level 3 or just maybe a level 4, maybe it would have stuck around at 1, but it has the ability to grab all the key windups from the deck. So even at 1, this card was still very viable. And as you can see in the Photon Collaborative Shocklock, it serves as one purpose to just keep going into the main cards. So I could see how this card could have been hit. Next card is what cards went to 1. Wind Up Magician went to 1. This card makes a lot of sense to go into 1 because its only functionality is to go straight into more windups that could just generate a massive swarm of monsters on one turn. Hopefully at 1 we won't see as many shock locks or as many broken plays. As long as you can get the first one through, you have a very good field presence, so the deck is still playable. In my opinion, Shark should have been the one to go to 1, and probably a Magician to go to 2 or something like that, because Shark is completely broken. A card that can get summoned with like a Keys on, let's say, and then has the ability to make himself a 5 or a 3 is really broken. It's a complete toolbox for any of the 3 through 5 exceeds. It's just really good, but it is what it is. I guess the deck's still very playable. So now the next card on the list is One Day Apiece. This card, in my opinion, definitely had to get hit. It is the main engine for all the stall decks. Once this card was released, all the stall decks adapted it because it just made perfect sense. Final Countdown could use it, Exodia could use it. All the stall decks could use it because it was too good. It gave you a free turn of not getting hit, and it gave you a draw. That is ridiculous for those types of decks. So yeah, so it's at 1. Obviously they'll still run the 1, and in place of it, have no ideas. Next card on the list is Solemn Warning. Also goes down to 1. This card, as other YouTubers have described, like Mega Capital G, it was basically you had 2 chances of grabbing it. If you opened up with it with some decent back row, you basically had a very good advantage over your opponent. They go in, you just wait for them to go into their big plays, and you just warning whatever comes out. This card, even though you paid the 2,000 life points, was still very good. Now, a couple of key cards that I've been wondering, when thinking about what to play instead. Like, I'll still, you guys obviously should still play the one warning, but alongside with it, to make the void of the second one filled, I'm thinking about probably like a Black Horn of Heaven for the same functionality, kind of. It's only for inherent summons, but you still get to negate a summon, which is kind of right on the line of what the warning was supposed to do anyways. So yeah, so come up with some ideas, guys, and just comment down below and let me know what you guys think. Alright, next card on the list, this is the semi-limited list, is Tsukiyomi. As we saw, Tsukiyomi generated, I don't know, at least around here where I live, generated a lot of hype as to like, oh, it's going to be the most amazing card, Konami doesn't know what they're doing, bringing it back, blah blah blah, stuff like that. For example, there were Gears, obviously, just keep generating more pluses off armor. There was, the main talk I heard was Gravekeepers, with Spy and people who ran guard. But as the format started moving along, Tsukiyomi started receiving less and less use, and as we saw, no one really plays this card. There might be a couple of players who still play it, but generally it's just not doing anything. So it coming back to 2, heck, it could have came back to 3. It really would not have mattered at all. Next card on the list is Thunder King Ryo. This card, I am still unaware of why it's at 2. I really don't see most decks that were maining more than 2, siding 2. Maybe trust me, I'm not 100% into the OCG meta, so I wouldn't know if there was like a very good stun deck that was maining 3. So it's still unknown to me why this card's at 2, but it is. So just moving right along, next card is the Advanced Ritual Arts. This card, still a little bit doubtful if it should be at 2. You know, now you can make the Herald of Perfection deck a little bit more playable, stuff like that. There's nothing more I really need to say about this. I just really feel like it shouldn't have gone back to 2, because it still serves a very good purpose in a lot of those big ritual decks. But at the same time, I don't think that, even though those decks will be a little bit more compatible, I don't think that they'll be any more annoying than what they were with it at 1. So, moving right along, Spore. Alright, no. So, this is the list of everything that's unlimited, back to 3. And the first card is Spore. Spore, right from last format, should have already been at 3. You can only really just use ones, so there's really no point of it being put to 1. That was just a really dumb move by Konami. So, there's nothing really to say about this. Moving on. Alright, Blackwing Kalute. He probably, in my opinion, shouldn't have been the card that Blackwing's got as support for this format. I mean, he's definitely no Honest, so he's not as broke. He just gives them a couple of attack points more, so they can get over a lot, basically almost everything. But I still feel like Blackwing should, for a support card, they should have got like a second Whirlwind, maybe a second Gale, but Gale is still too universal. I was arguing with a friend whether if he had the choice of another Kalute or another Whirlwind. He said Kalute because he feels that Whirlwind is just too good. And after doing some research and really thinking about it, I do agree. Whirlwind just gives the whole deck just more consistency that it really, in my opinion, does need. But I really still think that they should have just got that. So yeah, so Black Whirlwind players can now play a third Kalute. Hopefully this can make the deck more compatible. We'll have to wait and see. Next card on the list is Lightsworn Lumina. I remember the format when she was put to 2. I really just made the deck just because of that one fact. This is when Gardner also was at 2. And I made the Lightsworn deck. I made Twilight. No, I think I made some Twilight or Chaos variant. And I did okay. It's just that I feel like, in my opinion, Lightsworns require a very strength amount of luck, because you have to be able to mill. You know, you have to, for JD to work, you have to have the 4 different Lightsworns in the grave. You try to run not as many multiple copies of the same Lightsworn, so you don't screw yourself in trying to get them there. And you have to, and by running less copies, you have less chances of having them in the graveyard. It's a very luck mill type of deck, where if you have to be able to do this in order for this to work, and it's just very hard to pull off. I mean, I have versed people who on their first turn can get them all there, but When I tried the deck for about 2 months, it was not working out. Plus, there was a lot of people citing a lot of different cards that were really hurting me, like Ally of Justice. I can't even remember his name. The one that banishes 2 light monsters from the graveyard. That got really annoying, and I could never drop my JDs, so I got rid of the deck and started making something else. But now that they have 3 Gardeners and they have 3 Luminas, the deck is slowly being rebuilt to what it originally was. All they're missing is 3 Honest, so there's really nothing left in the deck that they're really missing, and they'll be right back to where they used to be. So it'd be really interesting to see a lot more pure Lightsworn players. So, last card to come back to 3 is Shien Smoke Signal. I really don't understand why this card is coming back to 3. In my opinion, they've just, as you can see, they've clearly just helped 6 Samurais when they should have done the opposite. People are still complaining that Gateway is a really broke card, and yes, it really is, but it's only broke under certain conditions. It's only broke if you have plays. If you have the card in a bunch of spells and no usable monsters, then it really does nothing for you. But Shien Smoke Signal, I really don't understand why it needs to come back to 3. I guess because it's not as broke as like a reinforcement of the army, because it doesn't grab the level 4s, it only grabs the key level 3s. But in a sense, they're making the deck a lot faster, and it really did not need that. Just making it more faster is really just pushing it really far out there. As you can see, Konami is in the business of making money, and all these cards, some of them make sense, some of them just don't make any sense at all. But they really did not, to be honest, in my opinion, all the real problem decks, a little bit besides windups, didn't really get hit. And I'm trying to see that in September they're really gonna get the ban hammer. So let me know what you guys think about this ban list. I honestly think that Konami did an okay job, just to a certain extent, on some things and some on others, but they really didn't give out the full, like a full ban list of what should have really been hurt by this list. And so yeah, guys, just comment, rate, subscribe, and let me know what you guys think.